Welcome, everyone. We will get started momentarily. Thank you for being here. Again, if you are watching someplace other than Insight Timer, I warmly welcome you to come to Insight Timer so you can be part of this time together and so that I can see your comments. Hi, Rosita. Hi, Richard. Welcome, welcome. So good to be together. How is our sound here on Insight Timer, my friends? Can you hear me clearly? Hi, Linda. Hi, Rosita. Okay, great. Hi, Susan. Yes, please feel free to share where you are in the world. Hi, Kate. It looks like there's something a little interesting going on with my internet, but I'm hardwired in and we are together. I just can't see your little bobbing profiles. Ah. All right. Let us officially begin. Again, if you are not on Insight Timer, please come join us on Insight Timer. Hi, Paul. Hello to you. Oh, now I can see your bobbing profile pictures. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. For anyone that I'm getting to meet today for the first time, my name is Selena. We have these sessions each week as a space for us to connect as community, to support each other, to share in awareness, compassion, love. And this is really a space for each of us to come as we are, rather than feeling like we need to be perfect or spiritual or happy or all of the different conditions we might place upon ourselves. This is a space for us to come with everything that's arising, all of the feelings, all of the judgments. This is a place for us to be. I have many recordings on the app. I also have two different courses. I invite you to check out all of the content that is here for you to serve you in your life. Hi, Mary, in Mexico, in Mexico. So today I would like to focus on the power and necessity in these times of sadhana, daily spiritual practice. And if you don't relate to the word spirituality, no issue. I welcome you here, each of us and our beliefs. Uh, Daily practices to help anchor us, to help regulate the nervous system, restore the nervous system, to find greater clarity of mind, balance of emotion. These techniques and practices are they're just a must in the world that we live in. So this will be our focus for today. Hi Lou. Hi Linda. Welcome friends. So sweet to be together. Hi Miriam. Welcome. Welcome to all. So, why don't we start by being in practice together? I invite you to find a seated position if possible. If lying down is what's available to you, that's perfectly okay too. Let's sit nice and tall if we are in a seated posture. Roll one shoulder up, back, and down, and then the other shoulder up, back, and down. Allow your hands to rest on your lap. Take any position that feels good with the arms and hands. Close the eyes or allow the gaze to be relaxed, looking downward. Start to deepen the breath. If it's possible to breathe through the nose, I invite you to feel as if you are sipping air in through the nose or the lips if that's more feasible right now. Rather than just taking a big breath of air in, we're slowly filling, deeply filling the lungs. And then as we exhale, there's this slow, long exhalation. Your body may feel so agitated or contracted right now that it might feel difficult to do this. So just ease into it in any way that feels feasible for you. You might need to start by relaxing your abdominal area, your belly, relaxing the shoulders. Start to soften the body as a way to welcome these slower, deeper breaths. Allow a space between the teeth and the lips if that's comfortable. Let's start to release the jaw, maybe even soften tension in the throat. Slow, deep breaths in, the belly and the rib cage expand, and slow, easy breaths out, inviting the body to settle, to become heavier. Take notice of your inner world right now, the quality of your thoughts, the quality of emotions, sensations in the body. And then let's consider that everything we are experiencing right now, at some moment in time, will shift or change altogether. An emotion that we're feeling will inevitably change into something else, even if only for a moment. A thought we are having or feeling fixated on will inevitably change, even if only for a moment. Even physical sensations, even chronic ones, will inevitably shift or change, even if only for a moment. This life experience, whether in subtle or grand ways, is always changing. It is a temporary experience of change. Right now, being able to notice your thinking, just notice a thought. Maybe it says something about whether you agree or disagree with what I'm saying, or a thought about work, or something that bothered you earlier today. Just notice your mind and then recognize that if you can be aware of these thoughts, if you can watch these thoughts the way you are right now, then you are not the thoughts. You are the one observing the thoughts. You are the one watching. See if you can become aware of any emotions you're feeling, or maybe physical sensations. And again, recognize that if you are able to witness these emotions, these feelings, these sensations, then you are not the feelings. You are the one who is having awareness of the experience of feeling. You are the one witnessing life inside of you. All of these experiences come and go. How many different stories have we lived in our lives? How many different chapters? Experience comes and goes, and you, the watcher, the witness, the presence, experience it all. You are not as small as the thoughts feel. You are not as limited as the emotions might feel. You're not even as limited as the body feels at times, or maybe always. You are the bigness of life, the fullness of life, an unbounded ocean of presence, of consciousness. How grateful would you be for even a moment of sunshine if you were tuned into the knowingness that every precious experience is a moment that comes and goes, and you are the one who is witnessing it all? How much more would you pay attention and look into the eyes of the people you love, or take an extra moment to connect with the person serving you coffee or taking your toll money? How much more would you let yourself be alive if you remembered that you are alive in everything that exists? And yet pain consumes us. So many, for so many different reasons. What happens when you remember who you are? What happens to pain when you remember who you truly are? We will now move into chanting the sound Om together 9 times. This powerful experience of creating vibration in the body, helping to activate the vagus nerve and parasympathetic nervous system, and also attuning our whole field to vibrate in harmony with this frequency that is in all of life. Chant in a way that feels good for you. It's okay if your sound is shorter or longer than mine. Drop into the experience. Let your mind really be present with the experience of the sound Om. And be sure as you create this sound to spend a little time at the end making that humming sound, the sound at the end, which you may not be able to hear from me because of noise canceling software. If your eyes are open and it's comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Sit tall, feel the hips heavy. Take a slow, deep breath in. Exhale completely. And then we'll take a breath in and begin chanting. Om. 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 One more. And then just be still. The breath is natural. The body is relaxed and still. Be still and allow. Allow the light vibrating in every cell of the body. Allow, just allow. Notice what has shifted inside. Slowly deepen the breath. Move the fingers and toes. Open and close the mouth a few times to release the jaw. You may even wish to take a couple of breaths in and out of the mouth. Take your time. If your eyes are closed, when you're ready, slowly open the eyes. Hmm. Aware, here and now. If you wish, I invite you to share in the chat what you are aware of. What are you aware of inside after this journey that we have just taken together? Again, if you are joining us from someplace other than Insight Timer, I invite you to join us on Insight Timer. Miriam shares relaxing but stiff jitters. What are stiff jitters, Miriam? I'd love to learn what that term means. Davy shares, I'm all tingly smiles. Lou shared, I am aware of quietness and kindness, and everything will be okay. Thank you. Beautiful. Linda shares, calm and tingly inside. Yes. Yes. Great. Thank you for sharing. Paul shared, had a glimpse of the watching presence. Ah, yes. Isn't that such a, I don't even know. I don't know what the word is. What's that word? Not tintillating, scintillating. Is scintillating the word that's that energy of like, oh, oh, there I am. There I am. Who is I? There's no I. Beautiful. Mm. Hi, Zawadi. Swati shares, I joined late and was feeling really restless during the meditation practice, but then the Om chanting settled me, and now I'm just being with the vibrations and sensations. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes dropping in and having someone just talk about experiences we're not able to settle. And then, of course, techniques like chanting Om really help us to settle in the nervous system so that we can drop into a deeper state. Great. Well, thank you all so much for being here. I'm just going back to see if, yeah, it looks like I got all the comments. Oh, no, there was one comment. Oh, Brad. Oh, Brad is asking if that's a Buddha in the window. Yes. Staying present at the moment, Brad said. Great. Hmm. A warm welcome to everyone who came during our practice. Today, I'd like to speak on the importance and power of sadhana daily practice. And so, Adi is sharing, chanting almost always shifts energy instantly for me. Good reminder to do it daily. Yeah, it really is so powerful. And we have the science behind it. And then we have, of course, the esoteric teachings behind it, the yogic science. So powerful. So, I will end on time today because I have to end on time today. I get to end on time today. I have the session right after. So I'd like to share a little story just to start. Some of you know that I've had meditation in my life, essentially my whole life, and I've really been committed to my own practice. I used to think it was 14, but I think it's since I was 15, I've been meditating regularly. And there are certain types of daily spiritual practice that are more impactful than others, and they also change. Sometimes I really just need to sit in a stillness meditation. Sometimes I'm doing japa, chanting mantras on a mala. Quite often, I'm just chanting the mantra that was given to me. Sometimes I need to listen to a guided meditation. I'm always listening for what is serving, although there's great power in having a consistent style of meditation. Sometimes I will change it up. And I have been noticing, I don't know how long it's been going on and off, but it's definitely been a bit of a challenging period. Of course, we're seeing challenge beyond measure in the world outside of us. And then many of us are going through internal challenges, whether they seem related to things happening in our lives or just this churning, this upheaval from the inside. And I've continued to meditate. I'm continuing to do my daily practice, but I haven't been going as deep into my sadhana, into my deep devotion, into really, really dropping in and making my sadhana time, my meditation time sacred. It's been more like the autopilot that I've been doing for so many decades now, right? Like, oh, it's time to meditate. Okay, oh, that's nice. I'm meditating. But today, for the first time, I went to my puja, to my altar space where I had my meditation cushion and all the pictures of my beloved teachers and some crystals and things like this. A picture of me, a couple pictures of me on that altar, by the way. And it was the first time that I sat there to meditate in some days. My folks were visiting and I gave them my bedroom. So I'm good with it. But that's where my puja is. So, of course, I can go in and out freely as I wish, but I'm giving that space to them. So I haven't gone in and dropped in my sacred space. And today was the first time in a week or two that I did that. And I went from feeling super heightened stress. I had something happen this morning where my nervous system just popped into that fight or flight response. It wasn't, it wasn't a 10, but it was strong enough that I was feeling high stress, not grounded, not present. The mind was frazzled. The emotions were definitely activated. And I went and I sat down at my puja without my phone, right? And I went through my practices. I chanted Om. I chanted different mantras, japa. Practiced arti, which is this devotional practice to the master, to the guru, to the teacher. And as I sat, really giving myself this sacred time where I was by myself and I was really dedicating myself to this sadhana, this daily practice, my whole being shifted in a way that it hadn't in days and days on end. And we could say there are many reasons why we're not fully expanded or dropped into a state of presence. However, sadhana has the ability to bring us back to ourselves. So I'm sharing this personal story to really highlight. Well, I guess I didn't really share. During my practices this morning, I started to feel like this weight was being lifted. And all these places that felt so tight and so compressed, they were starting to expand. And by the end of the practice, especially after arti, which is just such a devotional practice, and devotion is it's nectar for the heart, it's this amrit for the heart. After arti, I was just in this place of just really feeling the gratitude rather than just thinking about all the things that I know I'm grateful for. I just felt this gratitude and this beauty of life and this ease and this trust and this ah. So I invite you to, if you don't already have a daily practice, I invite you to consider what you can create as a daily practice to bring you home to yourself. Because that's really what it is. My mind was in future thoughts and feeling stress. It was also in complaining thoughts about how I didn't have enough time or this or that. So I was complaining, the mind was complaining, the mind was in the future. And then I was also judging myself for not being more graceful. The mind was judging, yes. So I had all of this happening. So, what can you do on a daily basis to come home to you? What practices light you up inside and remind you of the light that you are? What techniques help you to restore your nervous system, to regulate your emotions? And yeah, I'll just leave it there for right now. I'll leave it there for right now. And feel free to share in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. What serves you on a daily basis? I see that Mary was asking how long is the session? The session is listed as an hour, although we tend to go over a little bit. If there is a big topic or questions being answered, uh, although today will be ending on the hour just a little before. Hi, Jen. Hi, Anami. Hi, Sammy. Brad shares, I find running meditation in nature works well for me. Beautiful. And although there's no one way to meditate, fortunately, right? There's so many different styles. I do find that there's something different about stillness meditation, meaning when the body is still, when we can be with all of the things, the pains, the discomforts, the distractions, the joys, that stillness is where we exist. And having a daily practice like running where you move into that state is fantastic. It's not yes, it's yes and, right? It's not black or white. Yes, Wendy. So Wendy was asking, what does sadhana mean? And again, sadhana is with a D. Sadhana is referring to daily spiritual practice. Yes. I mentioned it at the very beginning. So apologies to anyone who missed that in the beginning. Anime shares how I've been feeling the last several weeks. High stress, nervous system very much activated. I think I haven't been this removed from my practice for quite some time. And when I've tried, I felt like I was forcing it and it was worsening. Yes, I hear that, love, and relate to that very much many times throughout my life. My beloved teacher Saima has always said if your practice is dry, if your sadhana is dry, if you feel like you're having to force or push your sadhana, back off. Let your sadhana be juicy, let it be rich, let it be enlivened. So I guess that can be an exploration for each of us. If my daily spiritual practice is feeling dry or forced, what can I do to move into an ease? Maybe that means your sadhana for the day is taking a walk or a running meditation, right? Maybe that means focusing on just doing some breathing exercises that really calm you. And I think actually, I'm not sure about this, but it makes me curious to explore the balance of discipline is key, as my beloved teacher Saima, again, referencing Saima. Surprise, surprise, when you've been studying with a being for over 22 years. Ma what was I going to say? Let's see, we're talking about sadhana, being dry. Oh, Ma says, discipline makes you a disciple of life. Discipline makes you a disciple of life. So rather than thinking about the word discipline as some form of punishment, discipline is saying, I am committed, I am in integrity with myself. I am in integrity with myself and I'm consistent with this integrity so that it serves me and serves my life. So, what I was playing with in my mind before that is this awareness of the power and necessity of discipline in our blossoming, in our growth, in our evolution. And also when it's valuable to practice infinite flexibility. It's kind of like they're happening simultaneously. There's this discipline and this flexibility, and this discipline and this flexibility. And we're weaving this dance because as many of us know, sometimes when we move into discipline, we become rigid, right? And rigidity keeps us from allowing that movement of life. Oh, what a dance. Okay, coming back to your shares. Davy shares, I play with props and train for fire dancing. Lovely. Yeah, again, there's so many ways that we can meditate. And I feel like there are ways that, well, if all is one and all is consciousness, then meditation is the natural state of our being. And there are many tools that can awaken us to the natural state of our being and bring us home to ourselves. Ah, Mary shares yoga, journal, listening to guided imagery meditation, and stillness meditation. Lovely. Paul shared, "Thank you, Selena. Always have to walk the dogs and time in nature always grounds me." Beautiful. Lou shared, "I am going to create this space. I would like to stop and enjoy the stillness." Ah, it's such a gift when we finally into that stillness of our being. Yeah. Linda shares, "Petting my kitty." Yeah, right? Our little furry friends who are so full of love and presence, and we just drop in with them. Terry shared shared, breath work brings me back to myself. Yes, yes, yes. Kate shared, "I do insight timer, live guided meditations at least twice a day." Wow. But I don't do silent meditation on my own. I hope that counts. And again, there's no right or wrong here, right? It's an exploration. And some of us might find that if we're always doing a certain type of meditation, you might find it's powerful, insightful, eye-opening, heart-opening, spirit awakening to try something that you don't normally try. See what happens inside. Larry shared asks, "Please explain your chant meanings if you get the time." Larry, let's see, what chant meanings. What was I saying? Well, did I say anything about chanting other than referencing my practice? I referred to japa. That might be one. So japa is a form of mantra recitation on a mala, so a beaded necklace of 108 beads, or sometimes we see bracelets of 16 beads. And japa is where you're holding the mala, like a rosary for some who are unfamiliar with the term, uh, and you're repeating the mantra each time that you move a bead. I think that was the only maybe mantra thing I referenced that, but please feel free to ask a more specific question, Larry, if that didn't answer your question. Mary says, sometimes healing touch on self. Yeah, I love like all the havening practices and just being gentle. Absolutely. Especially because these compassionate ways of being with the body really start to soften so much contraction. They can. Angela shares, I can relate to Anami. Yeah, yeah. Liz shares, spending time and embracing nature is so good for a person's soul, along with their body, mind, and spirit, and being therapeutic. Yes, yes, yes. Seeing your love for each other. Um, and Liz is sharing that she can also resonate with Anami. Hi, Blossom. Welcome. Noni sharing, working up to silent meditation, excited for the journey. Lovely. And remember, for many of us, silent meditation does not mean it's silent here. That's one thing I've learned after meditating regularly for 25 years, however long it's been. Is that right? Am I mathing correctly? Uh, Almost every time that I sit down to meditate, my mind is active. Sometimes I have the great grace and gift of the mind being quiet, moving into quiet, but oftentimes the mind is active. And some schools of thought around meditation say that that activity of the mind that sometimes is heightened when we sit to meditate, or the agitation in the body that becomes more pronounced when we sit to meditate, that is the releasing of stress. Okay, we have so many comments. Love hearing from all of you today. And remember, if you're not on Insight Timer, join us on Insight Timer so we can see your comments. Uh, let's see here. Zawadi shares, when I'm stuck in my head, I find that meditation in motion, asana, walking, running, dance, often guides me into a state of stillness. That's the sweet spot as it helps me come back into my body. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. It's really just this dance of knowing our own systems and even understanding that sometimes what we know changes. Yes. Mary is sharing, do audio go out? Uh, I'm not sure what you're meaning there, Mary, if you're sharing something or asking a question. Mark is sharing Om is universal mantra related to the crown chakra. Maybe Larry was asking about the mantra that we chanted today. Thanks, Mark. Terry is sharing, you have inspired me to return to chanting Om. It was so powerful. Thank you, Selena, for everything you've shared. Oh, thank you, love. I got you. Thank you. Hi, Richard. I'm so glad you're here today. What a treat. Richard, and I'm so glad everyone's here. I know sometimes it's easy for the ego to say, "Oh, this person loves them and not me. This person likes them more and not me." And if you ever hear me speak away, it's maybe just because the relationship is built. Yes, my love is for all, and I'm so grateful to each of you for being here. Okay, Richard shares stillness and breathing meditation, which I do daily almost, often works wonders for me. And I really notice when I haven't done it for a few days. Yeah, exactly. Great. Brad shares mantras help keep my thoughts flowing through and not get caught in my mind. Yes, that's great. It's one of the gifts of the mantra, right? It gives the mind something to focus on rather than getting caught in all of the stories that come and go. Richard shares, "We'll try to be more disciplined. I think that is good advice for a sweet life." Yeah, yeah, I believe so. Davy shared, "Maybe I'll find it easier to approach if I call it chatty meditation," right? Instead of silent meditation. Because it is. Let's keep it real. Maybe our mouths are quiet, but what's going on inside of our minds? Yeah, I love that. Oh, wonderful, Wendy. Warm welcome. Warm welcome to everyone who's here for the first time. Wonderful. Great. Well, we have just over 10 minutes left. Anything else you'd like to share? Any thoughts you have? Any maybe any sage wisdom that you'd like to share with the community on this topic of sadhana? Okay, Wendy, thanks for being here with us. We meet regularly, and you're welcome to check my schedule on my profile page to see when all my sessions are. I will be gone for a little bit in March. Noni shared, I love that. I'm going to sit and listen to my mind chatter. That's so honest. Yeah. And, of course, what I've learned from more than one tradition, right? Well, let's take away any idea of good, bad, right, or wrong. What I have learned is when there are so many techniques. When we sit in meditation and we're in silent meditation, rather than getting involved in the chatter, practicing noticing the chatter. And that's a beautiful mindfulness technique, yes. Maybe you notice that your mind is planning something in the future. So you just give it a word. You say planning. It's just an acknowledgement. Oh, there's a whole stream of consciousness and it's planning. And it's like once I notice it is planning, it can just let it go. Or maybe I find myself thinking about everything that I need to do and I recognize, the mind is making a list. So I just say, oh, it's list making. Just acknowledge it, let it pass. Oh, the mind is worrying. You start to notice and acknowledge rather than getting caught in all of the thoughts. Linda shares, in silent meditation, I often have music playing in my head. Oh, fascinating. Fascinating. I love that. It's so cool. When we really drop in, that's part of the beauty of Sangha and satsang. Sangha means our spiritual community, and satsang is when we come together to share, to grow, to learn together. And when we share with each other in this kind of way, we learn that there are so many different experiences. There's this funny thing that the ego does, which many of you are probably aware of at this point, where the ego thinks that other people are like it, meaning we expect other people to think like us, to feel like us. We have this nonsense idea called common sense, one thing that's common sense in one culture is totally offensive in another culture, and so on. Yes, there's no such thing as common sense. There are agreed upon societal rules, things like this. Yes, maybe some deeper humanitarian, humane ways that we could say that we agree about how to behave or be. But anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent there. So, where was I even going? I got lost in common sense. We were talking about, oh, yeah, I was talking about how there's this tendency to think that people are like us or should be like us. And it's nonsense. There's so many different experiences. We have so many different minds and bodies and sensations and environments that we're raised in. Yes. This is a little side note here. The next time you say, "Oh, that person should act like me," I invite you to consider that that's not true. Or the next time you say, "A nice person does this," it's a belief, it's conditioning. It's an opportunity to examine the expectations you have and recognize if you're making yourself suffer, and also to recognize if you want to continue to have that person in your life, right? I'm simplifying something pretty big here, but you get the idea, I hope. Let's see here. We have a couple more comments coming in. Noni shares, like watching a classroom full of kindergartners rather than becoming one. Yes, great analogy. Liz is sharing, for those who know her, Maureen Swinney has been going through, experiencing, and having to deal with very difficult health challenges. She was in the hospital ER earlier this week. In taking her by phone, she is sounding very weak. She has given me consent to have people send her, oh, energetic vibes. Thank you, Liz. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Let's just hold Maureen in a space of love, however you wish, if you wish. Just offer this love, healing light, whatever your prayer might be, to Maureen. While we're in this space, I would also like for anyone, I would like to offer a prayer. And for anyone who would like to join, I invite you to join in my prayer. My deepest, deepest heart calling is for a ceasefire in Gaza, for there to be health and peace and harmony restored to the and freedom to the Palestinian people, and health and peace and harmony for the Israeli people between them and between all. And there are so many people affected by war and atrocities, and I would just like to bring them all into this space of our love. And I invite, because I know our minds can be filled with images that are painful when we move into this space of prayer, I invite us, if you wish to join me, to envision the highest vision for what we are putting our attention on. See peace, see healed people, see cities rebuilt, see laughter on children, smiles on children's faces, hear their laughter, see what it is that we are holding in our hearts, see profound healing, awakening, global awakening. Thank you. Thank you. Mm, yes. Ukraine, Sudan, Congo. There are countless places. We could name so many places, and each one of them is so close in my heart. Ah, yes. So we are starting to come to a close now. Thank you all for your loving presence. Thank you for taking time so we can be together. We will be together again next week on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll have our session regularly for the next 2 or 3 weeks, maybe just two. And then I will be away from the computer for, I think, 3 weeks, maybe. So we might not see each other for 3 weeks, but it's a good thing I have a lot of content on Inside Timer, and you can get little daily love doses from me on Instagram. So they'll stay connected. Any final shares, my loves, before we complete today? Again, if you've been joining us from someplace other than Insight Timer, um, I always welcome you to join us here because I can't see your chats if you're not here with us on the app. Okay. Oh, thank you, my love. I love and adore you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad, Davy. Davy shared this was just the connection I was needing. Great, 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 great. So may we continue or begin a daily practice, daily spiritual practice to come home to ourselves. If you haven't already, I invite you to create a sacred space for your meditation, for your sadhana. Yes, Anne, so wonderful. Oh, beautiful, Andrea. Andrea shared, just hearing you speak brought my barometer back to love and deep peace. Isn't that so beautiful? So beautiful. And thank you, Liz, for sharing your loving comment to all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mm. We'll be together soon. We're always together in love. I love you.